Hi everyone. So this topic is a little bit more down to earth, I think you would have to say. Um, so I did some research because personally I was just curious as to what the laws around death and um, dying look like in New Jersey because I know that there are only a handful of states that allow um, doctor-assisted suicide or um, aids in dying. So um, in New Jersey, the law for people to end their own lives if they had a terminal illness only went into effect in 2019. That's that I want to say that's crazy, um, but I don't think crazy is the right word to describe it. So, in my opinion, I think that everybody should have the right to end their life if they are terminally ill. If they want, if that's what they feel is best for them, especially when they're conscious in knowing it. Now, I work in a hospital setting. Um, the things I see are sometimes just hard to believe and understand. Um, but without breaking any HIPAA laws, I'm going to try and explain something. So, we had a patient on our unit who was almost a regular patient. Um, a previous time he had been at the hospital, the patient had coded. Basically, they lost his pulse. They were able to initiate CPR and bring him back to life, and he ended up leaving the hospital, getting discharged, all is well. He came back very recently, and I guess a little bit of backstory on the patient is the patient had no family, no one to help make decisions. The patient was a guardian um, of the state, so the state had control over his medical care and things like that. And the patient was also elder. Um, so most recently, when the patient did come back to us, um, he was very normal for the most part. I mean, within reason, what we would expect, and almost out of nowhere, um, he they lost his pulse, so they had to bring him back to life, and he came back almost immediately. But he was transferred out of our unit to the intensive care, where the nurses coded him 4 or 5 times, and each time bringing him back except the last time when it went too long and they had to call it quits on the code and pronounce the patient. And for somebody like that patient, I think I think that it makes this law in New Jersey, like aid in dying, sometimes difficult because said patient lacked capacity to decide for himself, so there had to be someone else there that could help him. So I don't know. It's a very rocky slope when it comes to this. And when I think about this also in like aid in dying, it makes me think about like hospice care. Again, because I am in a hospital setting, I see a lot of people some can't make decisions for themselves, so their family is um, brought in to make said decisions. But if they can't make decisions for themselves, then they don't have family. They become guardians of the state, and the state decides their medical care. And the state is always in the. I've never seen a case where they have it said, okay, let's make this patient hospice and let them die. I have not seen that. Now, I've only been in a hospital setting for 3 years now, so I'm sure I eventually will see it, but up to this time, I have not. I've seen a lot of patients suffer with no family. Some patients that should not have been brought back. just because of their age and they're already suffering, and now you're going to let them suffer more. Um, this topic is it can be very controversial, and I hope that we can all agree to disagree. Those are just some of my thoughts, and I'm interested to know what you guys think. Bye.